Kia ora koutou, I am Felicity Bruce, Savvy Guest Artist and salon owner of Cocoon Hair Design in Timaru, New Zealand. Thank you so much for joining us today. Behind the camera we have got Jessica Groundwater, who is a Sabre technical advisor.
Yep.
For the salon. We practice it. And so I've got a really cool technique to show you today. So we might get started. Thank you so much for being here with us. So I have pre-sectioned this mannequin head to show you where we will be placing our colour, what our sections will be. This mannequin is longer than our model. So we have got we've got two triangle sections through the top. That's going to provide a veil, and a little triangle just at the crown, just to cover the crown area. And I've sectioned it with a zigzag on the hairline. I've just braided it out of the way so that you can see how deep my zigzag is. It's a little bit finer through the top, around there, but then a little bit heavier just beside the ears. So when it falls down, that's going to frame our client's face with our natural colour. So the technique today, Colour Me Natural, is all about natural hair, commitment-free colour, so that our clients don't need to be getting colour done every 4 weeks. It could be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, it could be 3 months later. We're also going to be using sustainable techniques. We're looking at foil-free. So it's a little bit more creative. We're going to be using paddles and an amazing product called paper not foil. So that's to replace the foil. Righty, so my model today, Celia, is a very active lady. She loves swimming and she loves walking and loves being out in the environment. So we have prepped her hair using the K-Pack hair repair system. So Jessica is just going to take you through the hair repair system while we get set up.
So with Celia being a swimmer, she quite often has a chlorine build up in her hair. So Fliss prepped it today with the clarifying shampoo, followed by the cuticle sealer, leaving that on for 5 minutes, and then rinsing that off, and then finishing just with the reconstructor there today. And we have her all nice and freshly cleaned, and she's all ready to be a beautiful model with this lovely natural hair. Can't wait to see what Fliss is going to do. It's very exciting. She's just mixing up over here. We're also going to prep the hair with the Defy Damage Series Pro 1 as well, just to make it even nicer and softer and feel the best, so it can lock out all of those chemicals from the swimming pool. It's already got so much shine in there. Fliss is also going to be using the paper not foil here, so this is what we use here, and the Joico paddle, which is awesome for this freehand technique. Today Felicity has cut her paper not foil in half though, just to make it a little bit smaller with the shorter hair, which will be so awesome and easy to use.
Okay, thanks guys for letting me prep. So back to the sectioning. So I am not going to section out Celia's hair. I'm going to use natural tendencies. I'm going to be looking at where she's grayer. And Jess, if you come in for here. Yeah. When we lift our clients' hair, when they've got lots of grey and naturals, it's just a really wonderful assortment of colour. So that's why you need to be a little bit more free with where you place your colour. So I will be wiggling out the face, the hair around the face, just so that it's not dark. We want to keep it nice and light there so that it is providing contour for Celia's shape of her haircut. I'll be going down from the top of the pivot to the top of her ear, and that'll be our front section and through there. I'll be starting at the back, so I'll be looking at that triangle section again from the pivot and through there. And looking at all the hair fall, how does it fall? What do I want to see with colour, and what do I want to use as my natural highlight? And so that's the goal today. We're going to use the grey hair as our natural highlight. So I'll talk through my formulas. We've decided to choose two of the wonderful colours that we have in two of the ranges in Joico. So we've got Lumishine Youth Lock, and we're using an 8 NNG, and that's our Formula 1. So when we do colouring techniques online and formulas, I like to choose my lower level is my first formula, so if that makes sense. Like the way we colour in hairdressing, so black is dark. So thinking the darker the formula, the first formula. So second formula, the lighter formula, is 10 NB, so 10 natural beige, and that's in Vero Age Defy. So both of these colours are perfect for grey hair, coverage, but we are enhancing Celia's hair. We don't want to saturate her hair with colour, we want to see the grey hair come through, and we want highlights. So it's so beautiful. Look at the condition.
Amazing.
It's so nice. Like,
So
why would you want to cover that?
We're going to make it better.
Yeah, we're just going to give it a little bit of fun, a little bit of interest. Okay, so I'll start my application. So I will section that out of the way. So nice clean sections. And I'll swap my comb. I just picked this one up by accident. I was going to show you the pivots. It's much easier to see with that lovely Wise Park teasing comb. So this is actually the comb that I prefer to use. It's a pintail, and it's got a wide tooth across here. So it's not ideal for back combing. It's ideal for natural fall. So we can get the hair falling natural. We can back comb with it, but we're just not going to get as much padding. So, top of the ear from the pivot, section that out of the way. And then top of that triangle just up at the crown, and then we section that out of the way. Okay, so now's the time to look at how Celia's hair is falling. Just get you to drop your chin a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So underneath, we've got all of this really yummy lighter hair. So we don't want to make it really dark and through there. And then as we get up through the top, we've already got depth and through there. So looking at our formulas, we are going to choose the colours to contour this shape. So I will start with the darker formula, so Formula 1 will be at the nape. Hasn't she got beautiful hair?
It's so beautiful. It looks so lovely.
And I feel like a lot of people really need to change the narrative when it comes to grey hair. So that's a nice slice. We're just doing slice. So look at what's left remaining. That is going to be beautiful underneath our depth.
Definitely.
So it's quite a lot of hair. So we've got maybe 2 inches on that side, 1 inch
on that one side
in the centre.
Yeah.
Now our paper doesn't behave like foil. It doesn't get folded, it just gets placed. So we place it in and we use our brush and our colour to anchor the foil, which is the paper.
They're so nice to work with as well.
Yeah,
so
they really
easy.
are. And after you've finished using them, they just get washed and you dry them and you can reuse them. So you can reuse them quite a few times. They do recommend 3 to 4, but if you're somebody like me and you don't like buying lots and lots and lots of consumables, you'll just keep using it until it falls apart.
Until you can't.
And just like that, it's so nice and clean. So I've just layered 2 pieces, one on top of the other.
Nice and easy. And it's like really stuck in there, like it's good.
And it's movable.
Yeah.
Excellent. So our next section is going to be another hefty section. And this is why it's so quick. I can do this technique in 30 minutes if I wasn't slowing it down. So see, it's nice, inch deep, and you're slightly getting more narrow on the side of the ear.
Yeah.
So Jess and I were talking about what this really is. It's sort of like a pivot. So the foils will come and pivot up like that, or the highlight sections will pivot. Or it's like a fan, like a wonderful little fan.
A little
So
fantail.
now we're going to the Formula 1 again, just to keep that depth in through the bottom.
Underneath, yeah. We've just got a question from Duncan. How grey does your client need to be to do this technique? 50% or 75 to 100%?
So that's such a good question, Duncan, because I can do this technique on all percentages of grey. So if it is 100% grey, it looks wonderful. You want to make sure that you're doing finer sections so that it doesn't become stripy.
Yeah.
If you are doing 100% grey and it's really white, it looks absolutely beautiful with a level 9, and you can drop down into a level 8, but again it needs to be really fine. But that's why I love playing around the 10s and the 8s, because you're just adding a beautiful tone. So back to Age Defy. When we come into that one, we're going into the 10NB. So that's a natural beige. So it's going to provide us with a beautiful biscuity, yummy, violety, natural level 10. So Celia's actually got lots of dark in there. So if we were going through and looking at it, you know, she's quite dark. There's like levels of 5, there's levels of 6.
So many
and
multi-tones.
then there's the white. So you want to put something that's in between to help make this pop out.
Yeah, definitely.
So with Age Defy and Lumishine Youth Lock, it covers 50% grey.
It's also really good just to like help smooth the hair, leave it looking a lot softer and help fight that frizziness. Just leaves the hair in such a beautiful way afterwards, yeah.
I know we were originally a Joyco Age Defy salon before Lumishine arrived, and like we love Age Defy. We use it on so many of our clients. It's never let me down, and when they released the natural beiges, I got so excited because it just opened up a whole new realm of colouring. And then there was another colour in the collection, natural platinum ash. So
oh
NPA.
yes, yeah.
So that whole range there. If my client had lots of level 5, I could put a level 5 on there confidently, knowing it's not going to fade out and go brassy and yellowy. So it fades out so natural. And you just didn't have the confidence in grey coverage with another range like that before. And so we've been really happy. So now we're going to head into our lighter formula, which is Formula 2. And that is the Age Defy. So Age Defy has the original technology, which is our quadramine complex and all the yummy stuff. So if you are unsure about the colour ranges, there is a fantastic series of education going on. So you can just look up in the forum under events, and the wonderful wizards at Celia are taking us through these colour ranges. So Richard did the Lumishine. He's done 2 little intros on that, and like even myself, I've been using Joyco now for 9 years and loving every minute of it, of course. I still will watch the education because it confirms the things that I know. It also gives me the correct language to use. So when a client is asking why I'm choosing these colours, I know why. I know what's in them, I know what they're going to do. We've had our team locked in downstairs, sitting on the couch, watching some of the Facebook Live events. Whenever they can, it's been pretty awesome.
It is pretty cool. We're lucky that we can do that.
Yeah, bit of team bonding.
Yeah.
And then we just get online in our Facebook chat group and we talk through the things that we've learnt. So Jess, if you want to just come through here a little bit closer, I'll show you how close we can get to the roots with the paper.
It's like the same as like a foil, isn't it? Yeah, it's awesome.
Same as a foil.
So
nice,
good.
clean lines.
And better for the environment.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win situation.
So paper was created by a Dunedin woman. She's a hairdresser, and she just got overwhelmed by all of the waste in hairdressing. So an average salon will use like 1 to 1.5 kilometres of foil in a month, and somewhere like our salon we're up to what, 8 senior stylists. That amount just became overwhelming for me. I just couldn't cope with it. I was thinking, 12 to 15 to 20 kilometres a year.
That's a lot.
So what I did is I put that distance into Google Maps, and I imagined myself walking that distance and unrolling tinfoil. And I just thought, like,
it's like the best way to visualise it though, isn't it?
Like,
this is too much.
Yeah. And I just thought that was too much. So coming into these new alternatives, I felt like I can be so much more creative and kinder to the environment, mindful of what I'm doing. And I think that's where we really need to go as an industry. We are the leaders. So our client will see us using this, ask why we're doing something like this, and then they might go home and look at what they do in their own lives. So tinfoil, aluminium foil, it can be recycled. So if you are with sustainable salons, that's amazing. I really encourage all salons to go with sustainable salons because they will recycle your foil, 100% of your foil. So foil can be recycled an unlimited amount of times and it never loses its integrity. However, if it goes to landfill, it takes hundreds of years, minimum of 400 years to break down. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be around that long. So I feel really conscious about my footprint and what I'm leaving behind for my ancestors and my descendants. So let's talk about where we are at the moment. So I have just done Formula 1 and I'm just going into Formula 2. So we're heading up to the crown. What I don't want to do is leave anything too stripy for Celia. So we want, when she moves her hair, it to be more of a shimmer. And like when you're coming up again, you think about how much colour you want to see in and around that area. And I like to leave the lighter colour just under the crown. So we've got Formula 2. Alright, so if we break it down again, we've got 1, 1, 2, 1, and then we're back up to 2.
Awesome. Just got another question here from Duncan. On formulation, do you tend to work predominantly with natural/cooler tones with this technique on grey hair as opposed to warm tones?
I love this question, Duncan. Because once you learn this technique, it unlocks so many opportunities. So it just depends on your client. Today's class is called Colour Me Natural. So we've chosen to go for a subtle, natural look. Now, if my client was previously a redhead, I wouldn't put browns or ashes or any of those dark blondes in there. I would go straight for my beautiful coppers. And I would look at like your warms, like 10G, 10GB at Asia5, that one's great. So definitely look at warm. And I think a lot of people are scared of warmth. Like when we were talking about the colour formulation today, we're using a natural gold. So we do again need to reframe the narrative. It's not brass. Gold is not brass. Gold is warmth. And a lot of hairdressers are scared to use gold because they're scared of the brass. But when you have a colour like Moonshine, Youth Lock, you know that that's going to have enough natural in there to help stay away from any brass. Okay, so our next section is, do you need a shift?
Yeah, maybe just a wee slight bit. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I've weaved out. So we'll just push Celia's fringe out of the way. So looking there, we've got so much light coming in here. We don't want that to be dark. We want that to be light because it's almost like a natural money piece going on there with our beautiful grey. So we don't want to put any dark there, but we do want to enhance the dark that we can see just in through here. So zigzag, just to break it up and make it natural. Pull it out of the way, and then take your slice. So this will fall around Celia's face. See her beautiful shape in her haircut? So I'm looking at this here. I know it's going to sit there, and I'm going to be really happy that it's not going to be stripy, that she's going to have little elements of the colour popping through in the haircut. And we're going to go for Formula 1. So the secret ingredient in Lumi Shine Youth Lock is collagen. So that's what keeps it looking or softening the hair, but keeps it healthy and locks in the vibrancy, the energy that youthful hair has. So we know what it does to our skin, and now we can use it in our hair. How's that? That looks so good. And so Celia is not going to have anything on her face. It's going to be comfortable through there. If that was uncomfortable, we can fold the foil or the paper, just like that. And then that sits away from her face.
Yeah, ideal. Just got another wee question here from Mel.
Hi, Mel.
She might have missed it at the start, but was Celia's hair coloured previously?
Oh, that's a great question.
Very good question.
Thanks, guys. So Celia and I have had a long hair journey. We have done a lot of colour, and we used to do like a level 7. And so 7 NPA, 7 NA, and Age Defy. We wanted to cover her hair, we wanted opaque, we wanted natural so that it wouldn't grow out, and then eventually more of the wonderful natural grey started coming through, so we just started embracing it. We didn't want that blanket root look, so we just started edging it out using toners. And that's another thing you can do with this technique, is actually go into your DDs and go into your demis and apply those through like that, and that will help somebody grow grey out. And I don't know about you, but then so many people have actually grown out their greys because they had a little lockdown.
Yeah.
Gave them a head start.
No, like it's actually not going to be all that bad. I kind of like it.
Not that bad. So anchor the product down and just work through and make sure that all of the hair is saturated. We're going to talk about saturation more with the paddles because that's a little bit difficult. So work that product through. And so with these sections in this top section, I'm just doing 1 centimetre through there. Nice clean line, nice clean section. Because even though you're freehanding, you still need to follow a plan. You still need to have structure. I can't stand it when I see things messy because I feel like it's not going to be as accurate as you want it to be. Even though it looks creative, it looks fun, I don't feel like it's going to have the result that it deserves. Cool, that is looking yummy.
So do you ever back comb when you're doing these techniques? Like, does it depend on the hair or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I want more of the natural root, then yes, I love back combing. Yeah. So if we're doing proper colour contouring and shaping the colour around the client's face and working on through those ends, yeah, back combing's the go. See how now that doesn't sit all over Celia's face?
No.
It's not heavy.
Yeah, coming back.
It's really, really light. So even though I say about freehanding and about nice sectioning and things like that, when we come through to do the paddle work, that is going to be a little bit more creative, and you need to be more confident in your consistency of colour to know that you're not going to leave any transfer on the other sections. So it almost looks like she has highlights.
It does already, yeah.
I would love to take the credit for that. But after we finish today, I'm going to take the credit for that.
You can at the end.
Yeah. So see where I'm placing my paper? I'm leaving just the tiniest little bit through there. Again, because I have confidence in the consistency of colour, that it's going to anchor, that the paper is not going to move at all. So I start my application further down, pop it in, swizzle the ends. Duncan will love swizzle. We both heard some wonderful techniques being described as swizzling of the ends.
It's kind of cool.
It's
word,
fun.
yeah, I like it.
It's really, really fun.
I do like that.
Yeah. And also that way it's working backwards away from Celia's fringe so that I don't have to shift any of those to work with her fringe.
Yeah, definitely.
See how it's leaving a nice little triangle so that I can see Celia's fringe.
Yes, awesome.
Beautiful. So give us a thumbs up out there if you use Youth Lock, Yumi Shine Youth Lock. Alright, so we need to leave that in through there because it's going to be our little veil. So you see in through here, that's our triangle section coming in through there with Celia's fringe. We've also got our triangle section here that's going to be through the veil. And you can see what's going to be left out.
It's beautiful,
it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's
Definitely.
not a lot of foils. 1,
No.
2, 3, 4. So you can see why I can do this in 30 minutes. And when Joyko asked me for this technique, I was like, I don't know if I can do this in an hour. I can do it in 30 minutes. Okay, we're coming into side 2. So I'll just get myself organised because on my trolley I like to work nice and cleanly.
Don't want all of the things.
All of the things. So we'll just take the paper away.
Now we're going to be using the pedals.
Paddle time. Okay.
So exciting.
Alright, so with my paddles, thanks for giving me time to get ready, I get a towel and I lie it on my trolley and I saturate it with water. Just at the top end. So both sides like that. Pop that away. So I always have the water squirter with me. And so that's going to be used to clean the tip of the paddle as we're working through. So just through there. So it's just going to be wiping in through there. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright. Now, a really good hairdresser always remembers what they did, But again, because this technique's so simple, we know how we're building it up, we know how we started, so we know what we're doing. So again, we had a 1-inch section in through the nape, and through there, and it came up. Just move that out of the way so you guys can see that. And it came up a little bit high, through there on the sides.
Just got another question here, Fliss. Do you ever feather the application near the scalp or just as close as you can with the colour placement?
So that's what's great about this technique is it's totally up to you. You need to be looking at what you're painting. So I've decided to go right to the scalp today so that I can show you that it's seamless, so that when we part it, we're not going to have stripes. And feathering is just the best thing that's ever come out in the latest techniques because it's meant that we can be a lot softer. So I'm going to go hard in, but very small slices. And because remember, we're not putting heaps in. We're not going crazy with that. So we started. Formula 1. So can you see how I'm holding my paddle? This takes a bit of dexterity. Slide it in, it's nice and tight. Look at my section, it's nice and tight. I've got really good tension. Out comes the little brush, anchor it on. Now I can hold this with my right hand, I'm right-handed, and then transfer it to my left. So it's, and then paint it
And
down.
then paint down.
With my right. So that section's not moving anywhere. I'm able to go all the way through, saturating the hair, turn the brush on the side, and really work through the product. And I'll show you why when we get up into the top sections, why it really needs to be worked through. Slide it out really gently, and it will just lie like that.
Awesome.
So it doesn't look like a hard line
No.
at all.
It's nice and soft, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really soft. So this is what I was talking about before. We've got a messy paddle. So I just put it on the trolley there, and I use the towel just to wipe the top section. So that means that when I come in again to paint my section, it's not messy in through there. There's no colour in that top section. The towel, it's messy. Okay, next section. Same again, nice and deep. Now we don't need to be worried about this transferring into this, but you do need to lie it lightly. See how we've already got a little bit of root lift in through there? It's not falling flat and heavy.
Onto it.
So when you have somebody's hair who's really, really heavy, you do need to be worried. You need to work in different sections. You might need to brick across like this so that you're not getting a full sticky result. Okay, another little slice, and we're going to go Formula 1 again. So a nice clean paddle in through there, like that. See, my skin isn't even touching the paddle. And then I put the product on, anchor it to the paddle. What is that?
The GoPro.
Oh,
must be flat.
We just had a little beep. So this time I didn't need to put my brush down, because when you're working underneath, it's a little bit harder to maneuver your hands around. This time I was able to shimmy my hand right down to the base of the paddle and hold onto the handle. So I'm working through that product, I'm taking my time, I'm moving that hair around, and I'm saturating it with my colour that's on my brush. Formula 1 again. Lifting it out slightly and then dropping the hair down. Beautiful. Then I wipe my paddle.
That's probably the biggest thing in doing this with the paddles, isn't it? Is making sure there's no excess product on there.
Yeah, no excess product. The colour always covers. Like, as long as you work it in there, and if you've got hair that bounces out of the way, then yes, you need to really push that colour through. And don't worry about time. You know, that's something to slow down and make sure that that colour is really in there. Nice slice. So you can see why I can do this in 30 minutes, because it's not a lot of sectioning. And I'm going super slow for you guys today, just so that you can see. But this is our Formula 2. So we're working up into our lighter colour now. So there we go, dexterity again. My hands are going everywhere, holding onto the paddle, but I've still got complete control of that section, working that product through. So actually, Jess and I were talking about, we're going to show you what it looks like when you haven't got enough product. But I'll do that in the next one, because I naturally just put enough product on. So again, I'm doing that really slow. And I've given my paddle a wipe.
Nice and clean.
Nice and clean.
Tidy Kiwis.
Absolutely, tidy Kiwis. So we're coming up and through there. All right, so we're going into Formula 1. So Formula 1 is going to be a better colour anyway to show this. So, nice slice. Formula 1's coming in. See how it's still got excess colour on through there? That's really, really good. That'll help us work through helps anchor the product, but help stick to spread the colour around. But what I really wanted to show you is, if you don't work the product through, what it looks like underneath. So we are going to hold this up. See, it's really patchy. It's so patchy.
Yeah, you can just see it hasn't got right through.
Yeah, so you really need to work that through.
Inconsistent.
So if you do, when you're working with paddles and you need to get back up to the root again, here's a little tip. Get your pintail, lift that hair up and pop that paddle in at the roots again. Perfect. So get the wee pintail and wipe them on the towel before you start again. It's nice and clean, ready to go. Right. So now we're going to work through Formula 1, which is our beautiful 8 NMG and 20 vol, and that's our Lumishine Youth Lock. So I always use 20 vol with my grey coverage. It's just something, maybe I'm a bit old school, but I just trust 20 vol will penetrate, it'll develop. It's also the recommended developer. So
exactly, it's designed for it.
It is designed for it.
I love that it's got the wee slogan, the fountain of youth in every tube. Like it's, you know, can make these women feel, or men, younger, and with all the beautiful collagen and make their hair feel amazing and
nice
plump and shiny.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Formula 2. So I'm going to just work a little bit quicker now so that you can see the actual speed that I would work normally in the salon. Swizzle if you need to. We're getting a little bit longer, so we just need to work the paddle down and keep working on those ends. So if you can see, I'm using the brush to brush. And through there we've got like a little tuggy guy. So on the side, we don't want him ruining things with our beautiful technique.
Would you ever paint on the board first, like with some colour on there, and then use that to stick it, depending on hair types? And
definitely. So if you've got really, really thick hair, oh my goodness, just go for it. It's just so good. So thick hair, and if I'm doing reds, coppers, anything that needs
really
more
saturation.
Yeah, more saturation. That's the go. Okay, a little go for there, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Another thing that you need to consider is actually, when you're doing a consultation, really looking at the density of your client's hair. So has she got thicker hair on the left side? What is it actually doing? So when you're doing this technique, you might go, okay, I'm doing 6 on this side, 5 on that side. It's still going to be even because you're working on the density amount. You're not going, okay, my client has to be parted in the centre. It has to be done like that. This is a freehand technique as well. Even though we've got sectioning, we're still using our eyes to look at where the colour should go.
Colour placement.
Colour placement, yeah, absolutely. So we've got our little top section again. And so what we're going to do is that lovely age-defy 10 natural beige. So another colour recipe that I love using in grey, I love using the NVs, the natural violet range. It's just so beautiful. So that's in Lumishine, and it does this beautiful like rosewoody violet. And I don't mind if it's a little bit translucent, if it's a little bit too violet and too pinky, because that's actually what I'm looking for. It's what I want to achieve.
Just kind of like add a bit of life to the hair as well, can't it? Like, because you know sometimes it can be quite dull, and it's just nice to switch it up a little bit.
Want fashion.
They do.
Yeah, they are the trendy.
They're trendy ladies.
Yeah, they are. We have so many. We have so many trendy ladies who come in here, and they keep us on our toes. They don't
For
want
sure.
us to go, I'll have a tint on like 4-week tint. They don't want that. They want something fun, and they want something that's going to be different from their friends.
Yeah.
So this technique again, we've zigzagged around the face. We've got beautiful highlighting through there around her ear. That's going to pop out and provide nice lightness in through there. Alright, so just maybe get a little bit more in that wee zigzag. Again, I'm looking at Celia's density. I'm looking at how thick her hair is and where I need to put the colour. Alright. Formula 1. So this is where you need to be really mindful of your client. So I'm going to be lying this colour down and avoiding her skin. We don't want any of this colour going on her skin, ever. So turning the brush on the side. So as I'm pulling my paddle out, I'm looking at what's underneath. I'm looking at where I can lie it. And another little trick you can do is you can twist your paddle and pull it down like that. See how that doesn't pull it around her face? Like before we went around her face. This we're going slightly back. Celia is being the most amazing model today, and I must say thank you so much to her because it gives me great confidence being able to create with, what would you say? No parameters. Celia trusts me to choose the best thing for her, and that's a relationship that's absolutely worth building. Like, I'm so lucky. I'm very grateful. Okay, right, we're going to move up through here. So all up, I don't know, what, are we up to about 45 minutes? Are we sort of around about that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to talk about consultation again. When Celia comes in, I look at her hair and I think of all the possible ranges that I could use in her hair. So before I talk to her about her hair needs, I'm already assessing, does she need Defy Damage? Does she need Hydro Splash? Does she need Joyful? You know, what does she need? Does she want toning? Does she want Blonde Life Violet? You know, what are the things that she would like to use? So they are in my head before we've even started talking. And then when I ask Celia what kind of things she likes to do, you know, what her lifestyle's like, what is her routine, her routine, you know, just even wanting to use product. A lot of clients don't want to use products, they don't want to add extra time to their routine. So you've got to find the things that are going to work for them. Yum, 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 slicey. And we're going back to Formula 1. So looking at this, we have got a really dark area. We've got a beautiful dark area through here and a lighter area. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we're coming in with our Formula 1, which is level 8. So it's almost going to be in between those two. And beautiful blend. Again, nice and tight with the paddle. This takes a lot of practice, guys, and I would really recommend getting a mannequin head or a sibling.
Yeah. Even just trying it with like conditioner first
is conditioner, working
good.
On that.
Yeah, just to get that technique.
Absolutely. You see, as soon as you move that paddle, it comes away. That colour comes away. So if you think, oh my gosh, I haven't got enough colour, you can dip it up through there. You can turn your brush up and push that colour up through there. But keep in mind what's happening underneath. That is so clean. She's got no colour happening underneath. All right, beautiful. So the development time for H-Defy and for Lumishine is 35 minutes, and with H-Defy you can leave it for 45. It's just so different for everybody. I wouldn't just say, okay, I leave every colour for this long, I leave, 35 minutes is what I do. You really need to...
like check out after 35, I find.
You definitely need to check your colours, and I hope that you guys are checking your colours. Okay, we're coming up. So we're going in with our little 10. That's so good. And through there.
So if you were going to use like a lightener in the mix with this, would you put something in between it as well, like cotton wool or...
Yeah, so cotton wool's the go. Cotton wool is, if it's 100% cotton wool, it's fully compostable. So that means that you can put it to your commercial composting or, what is that place called? Oh, anyway, it's like your waste facilities, and it will break down. So that's what you should be looking at. So we could use cotton wool in and around Celia's ears right now to sit that product out. Like, see, I can touch them through there. It's not transferring.
No.
But cotton wool, you can put paper if you need to. But I can use this with lightener without going everywhere. So just be aware of the consistency that you mix. Okay, so we are pretty much done in through here. I'm actually just going to do a really, really small section in through here, and just with the 10 MB, because we don't need any more depth in through there. So this will be our last section, guys. And then we're going to develop Celia's hair for 35 minutes. Then we're going to check it. And then we'll see if it needs that extra 10 minutes. And we'll rinse and blow dry. And we'll take some photos. And we'll send it through to the C forum. Alright, so let's go through that again. Oh look, habit. I've just cleaned the paddle. And I'm not even going to use it. So.
Not the worst habit to have.
So if we recap, you can put colour in the fringe, but we don't want that. We want to see more of the natural. We want to see these colours just popping out from underneath. We want this whole veil to come over the top. I'm just going to section this in half. So, and see in through there, it's just going to peek through. It's going to be really, really natural, and that's going to fall in through there.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, really visualising where your colour is going to sit is everything when it comes to freehanding. So I like to, if I was going to leave Celia with just the paddles, I would section this all out of the way. So nice and tight, so there's no little ends. See that? Little ends. Put that in a firm sectioning clip, so that then
Completely
she
out of
can
the way.
process, beautifully like that. Thank you.
Awesome, so easy.
So easy. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys. We're probably going to wrap it up, but I'd love you to send me some questions. I'd love you to ask me questions, especially about sustainability. I've got lots of ideas for formulas. One of my favourites is when you've got somebody, you know that real salt and pepper, that white grey, and that almost a 4 or a 5. I love Lumishine 3VV and 20 volt. And what I do with that is I'll do the same technique. I'll put lightener and I'll alternate. So I'll alternate with the lightener, and it's just to soften it. So it'll be Blonde Life and 10 volt. It'll be very light and 10 volt. So just soften it. So Formula 1 will be my darker one, 3VV and 20 volt in Lumishine. And then the lightener is the next section. So I'll alternate that all the way up, develop it, and then at the basin, I rinse and emulsify it all together. So whatever's been lightened will pick up that violet and just really softly tone it. But the 3VV is going to be dark. It's going to be aubergine. And on our clients who want something with a bit more punch to it, that looks amazing because they're like, I have salt and pepper hair. As soon as you start lightening my hair, it's going to go yellow. And it does. We can't get from a 4 to a 10 to match the rest of it. So that's what I love doing, and I love that whole blended tone that you get from the runoff from the colour at the basin. So that's definitely a favourite for me. Try this technique with the DDs. It's awesome. 8 NRG and 5 volt in Lumishine. It's just amazing. And then in the demis, another one I love, if you've got a level 6 in your client's grey, 6 NV and 10 volt. It's just beautiful. So don't be afraid to go a little bit darker because you're only going to have a fine section. So if you were going to do something a little bit chunkier, if you want a bit more lightness for it, or a bit more toning, a bit more blend, then you just make sure that you're using a level 9 or a level 10. And there's so many options for you. So anyway, we'll have to wrap that up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that we've given you some inspiration for some waste-free techniques, thinking about sustainability, but also confidence with grey hair, grey coverage, clean sections, just being creative, get out there. Feel free to send me any pictures. That would be so cool to see you guys using paddles and paper, and of course you can use foil. Just make sure you recycle it.
Put it in the right bin.
Yeah, so from Jess and I and Celia here and Mannequin, we would love to say ka kite anō, mā te wā, and thank you very much. We'll see you again.
Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.